No, we're just gonna go over the number 5, chapter 2, relational. And again,
Okay.
5, 6, and 7 is very similar. Because number 5, you're asking those who placed an order on a specific date and helped by consultant 19. First thing I'm putting is let's narrow it down. Because you may have thousands of people who are helped by 19, but let's narrow it down just by those who placed that order on that date. So we're going to do select. And then we have select and project. Select takes the horizontal, project takes the column. So we're going to say select from the work orders table wherever the order date equals 9/10/2018 and save that as a result. Okay? And what I may do, I'm going to see if it'll work. Let me freeze this, and that way I can do it.
See, the only thing I was really confused on is kind of how to format this.
This is the formatting right here.
That's
this
what
is,
I
yep.
was looking for. I knew the commands and everything. It was just how to piece it together.
I gotcha.
It's just like relearning.
Well, the first time on a project, you're never sure, so that works.
But it's
Okay.
really similar to Python.
Oh, is it really?
No.
Huh. Enough?
More or less.
Python's like everything, though. It is.
Yeah, it kind of is. But in terms of like the way the commands are worded out and everything,
Was it 9/10 is the date? Okay.
it's kind of the same.
Oh, Python's more, hey, do this because this. It's not
Yeah.
really like, hey, make this thing to do this thing. It's really like, really is good for just like simple computations and
Yeah.
loops and stuff because it doesn't break really hard.
Maybe
It's really
Python
light.
wasn't that good. What is a good example?
It's
Like
this is like this
polls
is to me this is how you would write it like almost write it in SQL.
Well, I guess I should. What I've done, I've made a mistake. I'm freezing it for y'all, but my poor students online are seeing me do stuff. So what I'm doing, I'm actually going into the database. So what's going to happen when we get done? I'm going to show you the results of each step. Okay, so we told select work orders where the date was 9/10/28, and we're going to save it as temp 1. So I opened up the work orders table just so you see what it would be. Let me copy these. Did I unfreeze it? Not yet. That would basically be the 3 items that got selected. They're the only 3 that placed an order on 9/10. That takes care of the first question. Okay. Then it asks us some more info. I'll move this down a little bit. So this is really, that's the result. That's temp 1 result right there. Then out of that, temp 1, we're going to use project. Because we only needed certain things. We only needed the order number and the order date. It said that in your assignment. List the number and date of all orders. So in reality, I don't need all of this. I would just need and I'll get back to the other screen so you can see the whole thing. That would be the result of step 2. So we took the rows we needed, and then we just added the columns we wanted to see. Do those 2 parts make sense so far?
Could you repeat what was select versus
Select is basically taking the row, the entire record. Project is just choosing the columns you want to see. Like which ones do you want to project on the screen? Only what you want to see.
So are we using this in place of like joining tables?
We're not even to the join yet.
Okay.
This is to the point just to do with the date portion.
Okay.
The next portion is to do with the join. Yeah.
And could we have our join first?
You sure could.
Because I did have a join
Yeah, you
here,
totally
but I
could.
saw select first
Yep.
and I deleted it because I was like, oh
Nope.
crap.
No, there's more than one way. You
So
sure could.
Maybe
Yeah.
my join was right. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, you can. Because you'll join it, and then later you'll say only show those who had that date.
What I'm saying is if I put join work order client where work order dot client number equals client dot client number giving temp 1 first, would that be right? So I know I said that really fast.
Yeah, I'm visualizing it real quick.
I'm joining work order
Okay.
to client.
Okay.
And the where that I joined them is with client number.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, and that gave me my temp 1,
Yep.
and that's
the ones who have actually placed an order.
Then the line below I had the select, almost exactly what you had, but it,
You narrowed it down. Again, there are so many different ways. This is why this assignment in chapter 2 probably takes me longer than any other assignment in the entire book. Like by 2 times. It's like, oh, okay, yes, that would work. It's just,
I zoomed through this faster than I did like the first chapter's
Did you?
homework. I was surprised.
Okay, so let's go to the next line that I put in. And it's going to be one of our joins. And pretty much the one you just did. I'm doing a join on my work orders table and my client table. That's what those two right here are. So I'm joining the work orders table, the client table, and then I'm telling you what field is common between them that I'm joining them on. So that's where work orders dot client number equals client dot client number. That's all that screen's doing. And pretty much exactly what you had in yours.
You had me worried for a second.
No, I said there are so many different ways. Those results will give you temp 3. And I'll leave this up for a second before my poor online class. I'll see if I can do it while y'all are still working. Doesn't help that it gave like the tiniest monitor in this room to use.
Is the goal here to join a select command with a select command?
You're going to be joining the join, then you're going to have a select in a minute.
Well, I'm just saying the union. That's what I meant to say is a union. Like we're going to have a project joined with our select on the consultant line.
Let's see. Let me do it for y'all. Okay. Again, normally you wouldn't show the screenshots, but I'm just going to show you how it basically is doing it. So we did the join on the works and clients. So basically, I just quickly made a query. And it's always showing those who placed an order. Save those results as temp 3. That's what this is. This is temp 3 right here. All of this. Let me see if I can. There we go. Now, we're probably not going to keep that, and we didn't last time. But we'll get rid of it. We also want to see only those out of that list who were helped by a specific number. Like we wanted those for number.
5.
Yeah, I think I gave you.
19.
Okay, we'll do 5. Let's change this. Let's see, make that 19. See if I gave you my long one. Let me pause this recording now.
Consultant number equals 19, and then I made that my temp 4.
Okay, say yours again.
Select client
Okay.
where client dot consultant number equals 19, giving temp 4. I just basically, instead of taking it from...
Yeah, but you may have those who did not place an order show up. Because just because I'm being helped by 19 doesn't mean I placed an order. So you may, if you do it that way, have people showing up in your list who didn't place an order.
Okay.
And so you want to narrow down only those who placed an order, then extract those who are helped by 19.
That does make sense.
Yeah. Okay. So temp 4, we basically look for those who are only held by 19. That should be an easy query. Change that to,
See, I'm so much better at actually making queries than.
you'll notice my list gets, this list gets smaller and smaller as you do it. And that's going to be temp 4. Okay. So you had the first set, then the second group, which says 3 and 4. Those were, you're joining on this one, and then you're narrowing it down by those who helped 19. We're almost done. Out of this one, just like we did before in the first group, we only want to see certain values. So you do the project. We only see the order number, order date. So that is basically almost the same thing as this, except we're projecting out of temp 4 instead of temp 1. And I'll leave that one. I think I can quickly undo that one in the query. Nope. I'm going to make it easier on myself. I'm just going to do this. Only see the order number, order date, wasn't it? Okay. Now, I didn't need to see consultant, but I'm still using it. While we're getting down that list. And project temp 4, order number, order date, giving us temp 5. So basically, we just have those 3 for those 2 fields. Order number, order date. You're still not done now. Because you basically have 2 separate things. Those who placed an order on a certain date, on the 10th or the 20th, can't remember, and those who placed an order and were helped by 19. So you basically have to decide what are you going to do with those 2 remaining. And we have one more. I hope I can get it on the screen. This is where your line is going to be different on 5, 6, and 7. Everything else is almost going to be the same. One of them may say those are helped by 19, and another one say by 35. But they're pretty close to the same.
Yeah, it's just
And so you're just doing union. You're basically joining temp 2 with temp 5 to give you the answer.
Or would eliminate duplicates.
It depends, exactly. Because you have 2 choices. The other one,
it doesn't specifically say and for the intersection function.
Right.
It's implied. It's like an implied and.
Yeah. Really, I can't believe that's the. Really, there's not a difference on that one at all. The first one is or, in other words, either on 910 or, because number 5 does say placed on 910 or placed by a client whose number was helped by 19.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is different. It is on the 10th
that date
and helped by 35. So you only both parts have to be true. On this one, as long as one portion is going to be there, it'll show up. So that's when you have your union. And so all I need for an answer is that part right there. And again, the main thing is that you could actually use this. If somebody gave you that on a piece of paper, you could probably walk through and go, oh, I know exactly what you want me to build as a query. Again, just like we talked about, it's very similar to when you do pseudocode or pseudocode. Also, don't forget in your book, Like if you have the paper book, like page 65 gives you a perfect example of those assignments. Almost the exact same. You just have to adjust some fields, but it gives you the same format. It would say like number.
So whenever you're doing and, you would do intersect instead of union?
There you go.
There we go. That's what I needed.
Because and doesn't.
It's where
it doesn't-
where they intersect and
It has
meet.
to be both.
Yes.
Can't be
Yeah.
one or the other. Okay.
It doesn't need to eliminate the duplicates in that. You're showing like multiple results for multiple
So in
things.
6, we're only changing.
You're really not changing much. You're maybe changing the client number because I think
Yep.
it's a different number. It's 35,
Yeah. So
And-
35 instead of
and it's
19.
not going to be a union. It's an or, so it's going to be intersect.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
And then I think the subtract one was the one that gave me a lot of trouble.
Well, basically, it's almost the exact same thing, but it's the word
It'll just-
subtract.
It'll just end with like subtract
It's gonna be
temp
subtract.
whatever from temp 3 or
Exactly. Temp 4 from temp 2. Yep.
Alright, cool. I just don't like how it like
Just leave.
there's variable orders in the way that
There
you
is.
make your commands.
Yes. And again, it's just how you think of organizing. It's like if you do a query online, you'll all probably get to the same site, but you may do different links to get to it,
Yeah.
but you still get the same result.
Because in my head when I open the book, like and I look at the question, and I
Mhm.
read it, I think what tables am I using?
Right.
And then that's why I start with my joins.
Right.
Because I get the important parts at the very beginning.
Yeah, but then if you have a whole bunch of records and you're joining, that may be an issue.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of data. This way, if you can narrow a whole bunch of stuff and get them out, get them out.
That's why you put the select first, so you could
You know, get the
find-
ones who just had that date, get rid of the others.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to save that podcast separately